Welcome back, guys. In this video we'll be dealing with nested conditional statements. In the previous videos we've talked about conditional statements, so in this video we'll be dealing with nested conditional statements. There are situations that you want to check if a statement is true, and if a statement is true you perform an operation, and while performing that operation you still want to perform further checks if another condition is true. So you are performing a conditional operation inside of another conditional operation. That is what we call nested conditional statement. For example, you are building a calculator that is checking if a number is positive or a number is negative. So if the number is positive, you also want to perform additional check if the number is either odd or even number. So to do that, you can have a conditional statement. Okay, before that, let's get an input from our user. You can say user input is equal to int. We are converting the user inputs to integer from string, so we have input. All right, provide your number, or you can say pick a number. All right, so after that you can have a conditional statement that is checking if the user number is either positive or negative. And how do you check if a number is positive? You know that if a number is positive if the number is greater than 0. So you can say if user input is greater than 0, then if it is greater than 0 you can print your number is positive. All right, so if the user input is less than 0, that means the number is negative, but you are not going to write it on the same indentation level as this print. That means you are nesting else inside of this if block. So you are going to go back to the same level as this if, then you have your else, then you print your number is negative. So with this, now we are checking if the provided value by the user is positive or if the number is negative. This is supposed to be number, not number. All right, so we can save that and run it. Okay, so we are asking from the user to pick a number. So if the user picks, let's say 7, so your number is positive. We can run that again. If the user picks, let's say a number, let's say negative 6, so what do we have? Your number is negative because negative 6 is less than 0. Okay, now we have a conditional statement. For example, if we want to perform further checks if the provided number is odd or even, so we can come inside of this if statement. If the user input is greater than 0, that means the number is positive. So inside of this if statement we are performing further checks. We can have a comment here, check if number is even or odd. Right, so here we can have another if statement. So we are nesting this conditional statement inside of this conditional statement. So we can have if, then user input modulo 2. So if it is perfectly divisible by 2 equals 0, then you can print this, print your number is also an even number. All right, so else, that is the same level as the nested if else, then you print, so you have your number is an odd number. Your number is also an odd number. So here now we are nesting this conditional statement inside of this parent conditional statement. We can save that. Now we can run that again. So we run that, then we ask the user to pick a number. So the user can pick 25. So your number is positive, your number is also an odd number. So if we run that again and provide 24, which we know is an even number, we can run that. Okay, so you have your number is positive, your number is also an even number. So this is what we call nested conditional statement. you are nesting a conditional statement inside of another conditional statement, and this is where your indentation is of high importance. So if you put this in the same level as the parent, you are going to run into error here. So if you put this here, you are going to run into error. So your indentation is very paramount in Python programming language. In addition, the conditional statement that we'll be considering, they only give room for two values if a condition is true and if the condition is false, if it is true or not true. But what if we want to perform further checks? If a condition is true or if another condition is true. So we are not limited to just two situations, if it is true or false. Let's consider this example, this positive and negative number checker. You see, if a value is greater than 0, your number is positive. We can comment this nested, or we can leave this out and then copy this and create another conditional statement. Copy this and then comment all of them out. So we can have this here, get rid of this nested conditional statement. Okay, now we have this checker that is checking if a number is positive or if a number is negative. The number is greater than 0, it is positive. If it is less than 0, it is negative. But what if the number is equal to 0? It is neither positive nor negative. So we need to check using another condition. And how do we perform that? We perform that using the else if keyword, and that goes with the keyword of elif, E-L-I-F. So here we can say if the user is greater than 0, it is positive. Then we can say elif. So else if the user input is less than 0, so that means the number is negative. Else, so if the number is not greater than 0 and the number is not less than 0, that means if the number is equal to 0. So now we can say else, then we can say can print number is 0. Save that. So we have these three conditions. We have if user input is greater than 0, you run this. Else, if user input is less than 0. Else, that means if none of these conditions are satisfied, then that means the number is 0. Now you should take note that in a single conditional statement, you can have an unlimited number of elif, else if, you can have an unlimited number of it. You are not limited to just having one. We can have another example to illustrate that. For example, if you want to have a calculator that categorizes people with respect to their age. So for example, we can have a variable of age to be equal to, let's say, we can copy this, the user input. Can copy this, paste it here. Okay. Can give the user this prompt, what is your age? All right, so we can have a conditional statement that is categorizing the users according to their age. So we can say if age is less than 0, so we know that that is an valid age. Nobody is less than 0 in age except someone that is not existing. So you can say if age is less than 0, then you can print invalid age. Nobody has a negative value of age. So if age is less than 0, then you print invalid age. Then elif, this is to illustrate that you are not limited to just a single elif in a conditional statement. So if age is less than or equal to 12, so we are grouping those people that are either 12 years old and below. We are grouping them into child, so you can print you are a child. Alright, so if the user is equal to 12 or less than 12 years of age, then we say the user is a child. Then we can have another condition, elif. So if age is, you can say less than or equal to 17, we can categorize those as teenager. We can say print you are a teenager, teen ager. All right, So what we are seeing now is any user between the age of 13 to 17, then we are printing you are a teenager. So we can have another condition, elif. So if age is less than or equal to 29, so we are grouping people between the age of 18 to 29 to, we can print you are a young adult. All right, let's start this with package you are a young adult. So from the age of, and have elif, if age is less than or equal to 64, that means between the age of 30 to 64, including 64, we are printing you are an adult. All right, so anything that is greater than 64, so we can use else. So we print anything greater than 64, we call those senior. You are a senior. All right, so we have this checker that is categorizing users according to their age. This is to illustrate that you are not limited to just a single elif statement in a conditional statement. You can have as many as possible. You can have 1,000 of it, even if that is not practically advisable, but it is something that is doable. Okay, we can run this. Do we have any other code? Okay, we can comment this out. So let's run this. Okay, so what is your age? The user is, let's say, 19 falls between the bracket of young adults. So you are a young adult. That is, so that means this is not true, this is not true, this is not true. 19 is not less than or equal to 17, but 19 is less than 29. So we are having this block being executed. That means you are a young adult. And you should take note that in a conditional statement, only one block can be true. And if a condition has been found to be true, other blocks will be neglected. In this if, elif, and else statements, only one of it will be executed. As soon as one is true, so as you can see, the user provides 19. Normally, 19 is still less than 64, so it is numerically true. But since the statement has been found to be true at this level, all other blocks will be neglected. Only one block will be executed in a conditional statement. Alright, so that's that for this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more tips on programming and development. I will see you in the next video.